Okay. Get my mic in here. So, as usual, this is the awkward portion where I am just talking to myself. Get this to live. And yeah, as usual, let's just dive into cleaning stuff. And I'm hoping that I have the right Allen key for this one because I just realized I might not. All my Allen keys. Oh, wait, no. Got them here. Forgot that I had these. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of talk about look, I realize that I am not the spick and span show. I realize that. Again, I'm not trying to steal any people from them. Like they have a great show. So I have no issues if someone chooses that. But I was thinking what we could do is kind of talk about some of the things that have happened within the there we go, within the pro world, as well as some craziness that is happening in the semi-pro world of paintball. So I do have to have the baby monitor here. So if I need to run real quick, I'm going to do that. But yeah, if there is something that you wanted to talk about in particular, of course, please put that in the comments. And then that way I can see it. I have it on live. Of course, my members are going to take priority. So if I see a message and then one of my members asks a question, they are going to get that priority over others. Not that I don't love you guys, but yeah. So just a quick tip. You want to clean your reg. It's going to depend on your field as well. Like I've played this past weekend at Central Florida Paintball. Just a piece fall out. Never had that happen. Okay, that's new. Okay, that was interesting. What made you want to play paintball? So funny enough, I actually kind of got forced into playing. My my dad. So this was something with our church. Actually, they did a uh, like a men's day, whatever. So whoever it is that wanted to go and play. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to like it. My dad was like, no, I'm paying for it. You're going. So yeah, so that's how I got started with it. I don't know what it was about it. It's yeah, I mean it's something that I just kind of fell in love with. I don't even really know what it is exactly that grabbed a hold of me. Oh, that's right. I was talking about my reg. So I believe they recommend about once a month. I also want you guys to know that you need to make sure that it is a oil-free lube. So synthetic is really important. The oil can actually cause issues, so you don't want to have something that is yeah. Ooh, I've heard about some stuff with Ultra Silk. Yeah, it seems like they got some good stuff going on there. Um, Sorry. So the reason why I'm cleaning my reg though is because I played at Central Florida Paintball. Their lines kind of get like the airlines can kind of get dirty and get like I think it's calcium buildup and stuff like that. And those are all just things that will build up inside your reg, and then you're going to end up blowing these burst discs here. So you don't want to do that. That's not something that you really want to excuse me, that you really want to mess with. So that's why I'm cleaning it out, just because of that. You're in this. No, all right, Bobby. I uh Dizon does the same? Really? I didn't even know that. No, I actually had just looked at the schedule and was just like, oh yeah, Tuesdays seem good. It really wasn't even a competition thing. It's just something that I've been going with. Wait, Bobby, are you the one that had bought that reg from? Yep, yep. How are you, Bobby? Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Hopefully, it's still working well for you. But yeah, so anyway, so going back to this, so with the reg, it's one of those things that even if you swap out the burst disc, if your reg is dirty, it's something that is going to cause issues because it's still going to not be pressurized correct. So it's just one of those things that you really don't want to mess with. Um, so yeah, so that's why I just wanted to take the time and make sure that everything was all set there. Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. So, yeah, with um, I appreciate that. Um, uh, like Powerhouse has a lubricant that they'll send with you with the reg. So you really want to make sure that you're using something that they are recommending. It doesn't need to be a whole lot. It just needs to be enough to kind of like wet the O-rings, just like any other O-ring kit, really. But yeah, just every so often, it's good to clean everything out. Just make sure that everything's working the way that it's supposed to. And yeah, what's the best way to get sponsors for starting a team? Well, I'll get into that one. So yeah. So anyways, so yes, that's why I'm cleaning my reg first, just because I want to make sure that everything is working the way that it should be. Again, it doesn't need to be a whole lot. Like even the tube that this into is pretty tiny, but you'll be good. Um, so much extended. Oh, yeah, he got the long body. Yeah. I tried it and I liked how it felt, but then I ended up getting like shot in the gun, and I was like, I'll stick with my 90 with just a regular body. Yes, I am playing with Ruthless Factory. So that was something that was totally just God working things out. Um, I played with them at World Cup, and yeah, they invited me back, and it was something that everything kind of just worked out. It was funny because there was another semi-pro team that was trying to grab me. Um, so it was cool to be like fought over. But yes, I appreciate them picking me up. Yeah, John, I was one of John's original or one of his original um uh models, basically. If you can believe that. So it is the same Ruthless company. So if you go back to really, really old pictures, there's one of me when I had like a super old Ruthless shirt. It was something like that. But yeah. So, anyways, so yeah. So CFP is kind of known to have lines that aren't the cleanest. So just if you know that your field doesn't have clean lines, it doesn't hurt just to clean it. It's not something that it's not like it's gonna hurt it to make sure that's all good. Um, but yeah. So Joey. So I guess we can go over the sponsorship stuff. I got my gun. In regards to sponsors, a lot of it is going to come down to what can you do for them. I know that sounds really messed up, but if you are just some divisional team from that only plays local events and only does, small things here and there, you really can't go in expecting a lot. What I would actually recommend that you do, and some companies might not like me saying this, is talk with your local field. Try to see if there's something that you can get worked out. You really, I mean, until you're way high up in the divisions, you really don't need full head to toe gear. I realize that some people are going to be upset at me saying that. It's not that I don't appreciate my sponsors. I do. They're fantastic, and I do appreciate all the support that they give me, and I'm going to support them as much as I can. But for someone that's in like a Division 4, Division 3 setting where they are not necessarily, you know, top of the rank, and even then it's tough because like Division 4, what is it that let's use we'll just say company A has guns and all this stuff, and okay, great, so their local team gets a podium, might get a little bit of exposure, it might be something that helps them out a little bit, but it's not as big as X Factor or Damage or those guys um having a very good event where they have a bunch of people that are taking pictures of them and all of that stuff. So really what you want to look for, and I would recommend this if you're in like a lower division kind of a situation, is go and try to see if you can set something up with your local field. A lot of times you can get deals for tournaments from them. So if you're going to go play in the NXL, or you're going to go and forgot the gun lube. Doesn't help when you're trying to lube your gun. Um, when you're trying to go and play at a field, if you can be loyal to them and show them, here's how we are going to help you. Maybe you have some sort of a deal worked out where, hey, can we get free entry if we help with reffing once or twice a week or something like that. Only wants to sponsor one team and it never. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's going to be some people that it's unfortunate, but there are politics in paintball. Like there's some people that want to support their friend's team just because it's their friend and maybe they own the field. And yeah, so I mean, if that's the case, maybe there's another field elsewhere. I'm not saying like just completely lose the connection there, but if you can go and do that, and then as you get higher up in the divisions, eventually you're going to have people that are asking, like, as you keep doing better, how is it that we want to sponsor you? We want to come up and do this. The other side of it is also just the marketing aspect. When I was with the Palm Beach Vipers back in the day, way back in the day, they were getting fantastic deals. This was back when I was on their feeder team. When they were playing semi-pro at the time. So some of you don't even know that the Vipers played semi-pro, or they called it open at the time. I think they were getting some better deals than some pro teams were even getting. Just because, and maybe I don't know this full logistics of all of that, but what I do know is that the Vipers help sell a lot of gear. So if you can do that and you can show a company, hey, here's what we want in return for all of this. So if you have like a couple teams that play with you, maybe you have like a feeder system or something like that. Yeah, it helps a lot when you go and you're trying to talk to a company and just say like, look, here's what I would like to see, and then here is what we can do for you. They might come back with a different offer, something like that. And you just have to kind of weigh out your options. But you really can't go in expecting that you're going to get all this stuff for free. I think that's an issue, is that some people think that, oh, well, we're sponsored, so we should get everything for free. It's not going to happen, especially in divisional. So it's not something that is a guarantee. Now, if you are a part of a field that has a bunch of sales and they're willing to work with you, then it is something that you can, like, okay, well, what is it that we can get? And maybe the field owner is like, yeah, I don't really care about the deals that I can get for the NXL because we don't have anyone there, so it's kind of going to waste anyway. So they might even be like, look, sometimes, and I don't know if they do this anymore, but okay, if you sell this much paint or they buy this much paint from GI or whoever, you get this much for free at the event. And if they don't do that, or they don't go to the event, well, maybe they'd be willing to hook you guys up with it. So it's a lot of it is just going to come down to what is it that you can do for them. Don't go in expecting like, okay, what can I get out of this? It might be something that takes a little bit of time, but also make sure that you're supporting those and making sure also that your guys are not bashing people on social media. That's something that some people like to do, and I very much disagree with it because there's no reason for it. And also, you're making your team look bad. So you don't want to do that kind of stuff because then you're only going to be hurting yourself when you want to go and like re-up with some sort of a sponsor and they're like, no, because you badmouthed this other company or you did this or that. We don't know what's going to be happening. Like there's a lot of other things behind the scenes. Like if you look at a lot of NFL or NBA players, you're not gonna see um, those guys bashing a bunch of people. There's some that do, but not really. Um, so make sure everything is all good here. So yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. All right. Yeah, no problem, Joey. Okay. All right. This thing's been shooting awesome. And I'm not even just saying that. Like this is actually like legitimately a great gun. So if you guys are looking for something that's more like mid-level, not going to break the bank, DSR Plus is like super, super solid. So yeah. All right, let me get this all back together here. Hey, these are facts. So let's see. So Aiden, how long does it take for the work you do in drills to translate in real-time game scenarios? I'm working on the fundamentals of snapping. Okay, so I think something that you need to remember is that it is going to take time, and that's good that you're already trying to think of that. I think it's going to be different for everyone. If you are also looking at every single time that you get shot as a way of learning, that's going to help you. Instead of it being like, oh man, I'm getting all down on myself because I got shot in this situation or that situation, whatever. That's not going to help you. You want to have a mindset of, okay, how is it that I can improve? Like if I get shot, I can step back and go, okay, so this happened here. Maybe it was my elbow. Okay, I got shot snapping. Or maybe let's say I'll use that as an example. So let's say that you're practicing snapping and you finally get it where your elbow is tucked in enough and you're snapping out people consistently at doing drills. And then you get out to the field to run points and you're getting shot in the elbow again. Okay, well now I need to go back and work on this more. And sometimes it might click. It's so hard to say on how is it going to take or how long does it take for that. I should have brought stuff closer because this is that was a little bit of a stretch, literally. So yeah, so it's hard to say that this is exactly um, udon. Oh, that's cool. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, please correct me if I say a name wrong. I try to do that for my students as well. Like the first day, I'm like, look, if I pronounce your name wrong, tell me. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Um, so yeah. So if it is something like that, I think if you go into every single practice with that kind of a mindset, you're going to have a different practice as well. You're going to go in and think, okay, instead of it being that I lost this much, okay, I learned this much. Now, the other side of that, and something that I tell players for like a practice on a new layout, which we can talk about that with the NXL in a second, is making a mistake once is okay. It's when you make the same mistake twice, that's when it's an issue because the mindset that you should have is okay, this is what happened. I need to make this correction. Okay, you should never make that mistake again. So if you go in and make the same mistake twice, okay, something's wrong. Make sure that you drill it into your head of, okay, I already know the fix to this. Greenspan actually put this up. Speaking of spick and span, on social media, I saw him put something up for I think it was the World Cup layout. This was a couple months ago now, and he was just saying, "Yeah, I went and got shot doing this." And then I went the next time and the same kind of a situation and closed out the point, got a couple bodies. So it's not necessarily that I'm terrible and all that stuff. It's just really how is it that I can improve and how is it that I can up my game. So go in with that kind of a mindset rather than like, oh, why do I keep making these mistakes? Yeah, there is something to, okay, what is it that I need to do to fix this? The other side of it, though, is if you get down on yourself too much, then you're going to end up making mistakes and then putting yourself deeper into the pit. So there is that as well. So like paintball is just as much mental as it is physical. That's something that some guys, if they get bonus balled, they flip out. Those are going to be the guys that I want to bonus ball more, because if I can get into their head, okay, that makes it easier for me. They're going to start making mistakes that they shouldn't, and then they're going to get more upset. But if someone bonus balls me, I'll just turn around and go like, cool. All right. Number 17. Yeah. Okay. All right. And I walk off the field. I'm not going to flip out about it. I'm not going to go in and, ref, what is this? Is overshooting. Blah, 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 blah. No, just it's a sport. And now if it's like super, super blatant, okay, maybe you can, have an argument for something. But yeah. So I guess we can talk about how the NXL is making some changes to the release schedule. Whether you guys care or not, I guess you can put in the comments. I'm kind of on the fence about it. So for those that don't know, oh yeah, Nick, you're gonna love it, man. Like, and you really don't even need to change anything. Don't change any settings. All of my stuff is stock. So any of the videos that you see from me shooting it are all 100% stock. I haven't changed a single setting other than putting it into to ramping. That's it. And I haven't been able to test out the IM Pro or DSR Pro kit. I can't remember what they're calling it. I haven't been able to test that yet. I don't have it. Hoping that I can get one and do a review for. So yeah, so the NXL has announced that they are going to release the layouts on the Wednesday before the event. Okay, what is it? I don't know 100% how that's all going to work out. The teams that have more money and have more time are going to be able to still practice more. Just a matter of what it is. Like the guys that are literally able to make a living off of playing professionally are able to go and practice a whole bunch of days leading up to the event, still have 2 or 3 days off, and go into the event with more of an understanding than other teams. So I'm kind of on the fence about it, because there are some teams that do fantastic on blind layouts, and then others that don't do well at all on blind layouts. Like Aftermath, Hinman's a fantastic coach. I think when Aftermath has a couple weekends on the layout, they are able to go and break it down in such a way that they know exactly what it is they need to do. Now, could that have been some players? Maybe. I don't know how that's all going to play out. But what I do know is that if they were worried about people playing more than others, it's still going to be the teams that are able to, make more money and do all that. So yeah, good. Oh, 684 back. Yeah, I like to do barrel matching as much as possible. Or, I'm sorry, bore matching to my paint as much as possible. So I have another back as well, so I can kind of coordinate a little bit better. But yeah. So the league just, I don't really know, because like I can see the other side of it too. Of okay, blind layouts are great because then everyone is literally on the same playing field. You can go in. Who is it that can break down the field faster? Who is able to figure out shots faster than the other team? The other side of that is it does hurt fields. They are not having these practices for the layout on their field. So there's teams that'll fly out and do all that. I guess the other side of that is if it was a blind layout, all those teams can still go and practice. Just set up a random layout, have the field set it up. You can still do a practice with another pro team or semi-pro team, whatever. Still get the same practice level in and go home and just be playing better. Because ultimately, if you play well as a team, it doesn't matter what the layout is. You're able to go and do what you're supposed to. If everyone does their job, it doesn't matter who the other team is. So yeah. So I'm not really sure exactly how it'll all play out. Kind of works out for me because I don't have to go and do as many practices. That was I guess one of the big reasons why I'm not playing pro is I was having to fly out so much, and I have a almost 3-year-old at the end of this month, and my youngest is 9 months in like 2 days. So yeah, it's a very formative time. So yeah. Let's see. Starting a new team, do you recommend doing tournaments? Ooh. So one thing that I like with paintball is that you can make, a decent prize package. Like, there's some. I remember back in the day, uh, Kingman had you won a Mustang, like a Ford Mustang. So it used to be that you could have some fantastic prizes. The only issue is that when you have these big prizes, you have to bump up all the entries. So honestly, the more that you guys can play together, the better. That's really what it comes down to. If you have a brand new team, the more tournaments you can play, the better. I don't know if it's necessarily super important for you to get into like the NXL, just because the costs are going to go up. Now, if you have one that's in like your backyard, like I'm in Florida, so the first event and the last event are literally like 45 minutes away from me. That's super easy for me to get to. So if I was in a divisional kind of situation, okay, I don't have to worry about flights. I don't have to really worry about hotel. I could go home every night if I wanted to. So I don't have to worry about all those other expenses. But if you have to fly out or have these big travel expenses, then yeah, that's yeah, Missouri is tough. So actually I'll probably be out in St. Louis at I think AV is where we'll be practicing out of. So if you're ever out there, I've heard some crazy things about Gigi, by the way. I think that team is going to be interesting. I won't say the rumor that I've heard because I'm not gonna. I'll take from like what Vince, who gave me this shirt from Let's Talk Paintball. Um, Allegedly, there's some things that I've heard, so I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. Uh, just the just the wrong part. Yeah, I mean, that's one funny thing is I mean, I used to live in South Florida and then moved up to play semi-pro and to try to get in front of, Damage, honestly, is what it came down to, and then, um, was kinda told a bunch that, like, you're right there," and then, the Kings were the ones that gave me my shot, so I was able to go from there, which ended up working out because the owner of the Kings lives about an hour-ish away from CFP. So that ended up working out perfect. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, and actually, I guess I can use the Kings as an example. So that's something that Charlie, who's the owner of the ML Kings, when they were still in Europe, they went and played as many tournaments as they could over there. They were just trying to jump in as much as possible. You play more, you're able to go and better yourself as a player and as a team. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but you also learn a lot. Same thing goes for like some people are like, "Oh, why would you jump up a division?" There is something to staying in a division until you kind of win out and are kind of forced up. But there is also something to if you just jump up to the next division or even two and understand, look, we're going to get our butt kicked. But if everyone on this roster understands that it's going to take time, then you're able to go from there and kind of keep building. But if people are just expecting to go in and win everything, then that's not going to happen. Um, but yeah, I guess we can talk too about Connor. If you guys don't know Connor, Connor Kelly was one of my teammates when I played at the ML Kings. He's only 20 and is now playing with Houston Heat. So congrats to him. I mean, that kid, I told him from I think one of his first events that I was like, look, don't get a big head about it, but you stick with it, you'll be like top 5 in the world. And I still believe that. He has a great paintball IQ. His athleticism is fantastic. He's only going to get better. And the fact that he's going to be able to go and play with guys like Harmon and Dizon and all these other guys is going to make him a monster. Like he's just going to learn all these weird little tricks that they understand from playing pro for so long. Sorry, just heard squeaking, but I just realized that was the cat. I was like, "Is that my one of my sons?" Um, but yeah, he's gonna be a monster. So if you guys don't know the name Connor Kelly, you will. But yeah, he's playing on Houston Heat. I think he has to change his jersey number actually, because I think 23 is Sergey 20. No, Sergey's with Legion, I think. Yeah. Also, I guess we can talk kind of briefly. Uh, when I was at CFP not too long ago, I did see LJ out there as well as Harris. I don't know specifically, like I was able to talk with Harris a little bit. My opinion, I feel like he's going to end up with the ML Kings. This isn't anything that he said; it's just my own opinion. Him and Kyle Barry go back a real long way. LJ is another player that I'm not sure where he's going to end up, but apparently he's still got it because I saw him doing some drills, so he's still getting back into it. But it's yeah, it's just one of those things that like some like the paintball IQ doesn't leave you. Like you're able to still have those moves, but the the actual playing you're going to get rusty if you don't keep up with it. So like I still try to get out and do drills. I'm not doing it as much as I did when I was playing pro, but like I'm doing a clinic next week, and the plan is to go like 2 hours earlier to the field before the other team gets there that I'm doing a clinic for. It's a private clinic, sorry guys. And gonna go drill a bunch on my own so that way I'm sharp. So yeah, I mean semi-pro is gonna be nuts this year. Like just the fact that like Zach Hill and all of them are playing with Ology. Yeah, Ology out of the Northwest, and what else? GG is going to have a ridiculous team. Fit is fantastic. Killers are a great team. Um, I have my own opinion about some of that, Nick. I'm gonna just keep that to myself. Oliver is clearly an amazing player. Um, I guess I'll just say it. I'm not saying that I could go out and smack the dude around. That's not what I'm saying at all. But they also have such a deep roster that like you could go up and go through the middle and blow some stuff up, and everyone's going to be doing well behind you. So I personally didn't really see a lot from him that seemed all that fantastic. But yeah. So nothing against him. I mean, seriously, like the dude is one of the reasons why paintball is the way that it is. Like him and all those Iron Kids and Dynasty guys are the reason why we play the way that we do. So yeah, so clearly he knows something about paintball. So I'm not trying to come down on him for that at all. But I do think maybe someone will hate me for this. I do think that Ryan is a greatest of all time player. Like I think that Ryan Greenspan is the current GOAT. That's my opinion. His IQ, his athleticism, all of that stuff, his gun skills is fantastic. Like I remember one of the first times playing against Dynasty, and it was just like I think one of the guys came off from the ML Kings was like, man, their lanes are so good. So like it's just one of those things that like, yeah, I just seeing what Ryan does on the field, my opinion, he's the goat currently. So I think he's overtaken Oliver in that way. But Oliver, I mean, still has the paintball IQ, like I said. But yeah. So, anyways, all right. So I am actually going to be jumping off here. For those that are actually in Florida or play in the MVPS Thursday, the next video is going to drop. So I was able to get out onto the layout. Talk about lanes. You really want to practice those lanes. That's going to be a big off the break. Could decide if you win or lose a side. So some good stuff out of that. But yeah, if there is something, guys, that you want in particular, please put it in the comments of some of the other videos or whatever. I'm more than happy to do all that. Of course, a huge thank you to my members. They have a member only live stream that we do, and also they get all my videos early. So for the learn and win levels, those guys are going to be up there. So thank you to everyone that's been a support since day one. And yeah, just thank you so much, guys. And for sure, I'll see you in Florida because I'm going to be there. And be wearing my Ruthless jersey. So I'll see you all in a bit. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win.